My sister-in-law showed up to my wedding in a bridal gown and then cried when I had her escorted out because she just wanted to feel special that day. The woman who wore a wedding dress to my wedding won't stop calling me. My phone has been vibrating nonstop for 3 hours with voice messages where she's sobbing so hard I can't understand half the words. My husband Owen is out on the balcony of our hotel room trying to calm down, and I'm sitting here on what should be the happiest week of my life wondering how anyone could be this delusional about their own behavior. I'm Bridget, 31 years old. I got married 3 days ago to Owen, who's 33. His younger sister Tessa just pulled the most unhinged move I've ever seen at a wedding. For years Owen warned me his sister was dramatic and needed constant attention. He told me their parents enabled her since childhood. I thought he was exaggerating until I watched her walk into our ceremony venue wearing a full bridal gown complete with a cathedral train and crystal embellishments. Tessa is 26. She's gorgeous in that specific way that lets people get away with terrible behavior their whole lives. Tall and blonde with perfect skin, the type who's never been told no and doesn't plan to accept it now. Owen loves her because she's his baby sister, but even he admits she makes every situation about herself. When we got engaged 2 years ago, she immediately started planning her own fake wedding despite being single. She kept texting me photos of dresses that were so much chicer than what I was looking at. She told Owen's mom that choosing a summer wedding was selfish because she photographs better in fall lighting. I tried being patient. When she offered to help plan, I accepted because I thought maybe this was her trying to bond with me. That turned out to be a huge mistake. Every single idea she pitched was designed to center her. She wanted to give a longer speech than the best man. She wanted to process down the aisle alongside Owen instead of having their parents walk together. She wanted to wear what she called champagne ivory, which was just white fabric under warm lighting. I turned down everything. Each time she'd call Owen's mom crying about how I was excluding her from the family. 3 days before the wedding, Owen cornered her and made it crystal clear this was our day and she needed to back off. She cried and promised she understood. She swore she just wanted us to feel supported and celebrated. I believed her because apparently I'm gullible. The venue was a vineyard in Sonoma. Everything came together perfectly. The weather cooperated. The flowers looked exactly right. I was upstairs in the bridal suite with my friends getting ready. We had champagne going. We were taking photos. My dress was the sleek silk thing in off-white with a low back and I felt amazing. My maid of honor Jenna's phone buzzed with a text from one of the groomsmen. It just said, "Get out here now." Jenna looked at the screen and all the color drained from her face. She turned it toward me without speaking. The photo showed Tessa standing near our ceremony space in a legitimate wedding gown, not a white party dress that could be explained away, not an ivory number that might be acceptable in certain lighting. An actual bridal gown with sweetheart neckline, fitted bodice, massive tulle skirt, and a chapel train fanned out behind her. She held a bouquet of white roses and was posing with guests like she thought this was her wedding. My chest went tight and I couldn't get air for a second. Jenna grabbed my shoulders trying to keep me calm. My sister announced she'd take care of it. I was already moving though. I didn't grab my bouquet or put shoes on. I just walked straight out of that suite barefoot with my dress dragging. I heard them running after me, but I didn't slow down. The courtyard came into view and there she was. Tessa stood right next to the arch where Owen and I were supposed to exchange vows in less than an hour. She was showing off her dress to Owen's aunt, spinning to display the skirt. Owen's aunt looked deeply uncomfortable but Tessa seemed oblivious. Younger cousins were snapping photos with her. She laughed and struck poses like this was her event. I walked right up and said her name, nothing else. She spun around with this huge smile like everything was totally normal. She looked me up and down and her first words were, "Oh my God, Bridget, you look gorgeous. Isn't my dress incredible? I found it at this boutique downtown last week and had to have it. I wanted to feel special today too." I told her to leave. She laughed out loud. She accused me of being overdramatic. She insisted her dress wasn't even the same shade as mine, so what did it matter? She claimed she thought I'd appreciate her making such an effort for my big day. I repeated that she needed to go immediately. She refused and crossed her arms. She had the nerve to say Owen would never forgive me for kicking out his sister. She threw around the word bridezilla. My sister intervened at that point. She's 6 feet tall and prosecutes criminals for a living, so she doesn't take garbage from anyone. She informed Tessa there were 2 options: walk out voluntarily or get escorted by security. Tessa's face flushed bright red. She claimed there wasn't any security. My sister pulled her phone out and called the venue coordinator while staring Tessa down. The coordinator appeared in under a minute with 2 security guards. Apparently the venue has strict policies about disruptions. Tessa started crying instantly, mascara streaking down her cheeks. She went on about how we were ruining her relationship with Owen over a dress, how she only wanted to feel beautiful, how this wasn't a big deal. Owen's aunt tried stepping in to say maybe we were overreacting. My sister shut that down fast. She announced that anyone who thought wearing a bridal gown to someone else's wedding was acceptable could escort themselves out alongside Tessa. The guards asked Tessa to come with them. She planted her feet and refused. She was full on sobbing at this point. She kept repeating, "I just wanted to feel special," like it was some kind of explanation. Owen burst out of the building then. He'd been getting ready and someone told him there was a situation. When he saw his sister standing there in a wedding dress, his expression went completely blank. He stared at her for what felt like forever. Then he looked at the security team and his voice came out flat when he told them to remove her. Tessa screamed, an actual scream that made people 50 yards away turn around. She shouted that Owen was picking me over his own blood. She accused me of turning him against his family. She swore she'd never forgive either of us. Owen turned his back and walked inside without acknowledging her. The guards had to physically guide Tessa toward the parking lot. She fought them every step, wailing and yelling while half our guests watched the whole thing go down. The humiliation was off the charts. Owen's mom found me afterward, tears running down her face. She kept apologizing and insisting she had no clue Tessa planned this. She looked genuinely horrified. Owen's dad just seemed exhausted and beaten down. He managed to get out, "I'm sorry, Bridget. We tried our best. I told them this wasn't on them. I just wanted to get married and move forward." We pushed the ceremony back 20 minutes so I could fix my hair and calm down enough to stop shaking. Jenna brought water and held my hand while I tried not to wreck my makeup by crying. My sister guarded the door to prevent any more drama. When I finally walked down the aisle, I was still trembling, but Owen stood there looking at me like nothing else in the world existed and everything else faded away. The ceremony turned out beautiful. The reception was everything we wanted. We danced and celebrated and ate cake. People kept approaching to apologize for the chaos. Everyone assured me I'd handled it perfectly and Tessa was completely out of line. The whole night though I kept seeing her face when Owen told security to take her away. She looked absolutely shattered. Even knowing she brought it on herself, I couldn't get that image out of my head. Now we're supposed to be enjoying our honeymoon and she's blowing up both our phones. 47 texts to me, probably 100 to Owen. Instagram posts about family betrayal, about never feeling so hurt, about only wanting to celebrate love. Owen's mom called 3 times begging us to talk to Tessa. Owen's dad texted that we should give her space to calm down. Owen is beyond furious though. He told his parents Tessa crossed a line he didn't know existed and he's finished making excuses. Update 6 days later. We're still in Greece. It should be paradise, but the Tessa nightmare somehow got worse. She's posting on Facebook now claiming I physically attacked her at the wedding. She put up a photo showing a bruise on her upper arm with a long caption about how I grabbed and shoved her when she tried to talk to me. None of that happened. I never laid a hand on her. My sister didn't touch her either. The only physical contact came from venue security escorting her out. Those guards were body cameras that recorded the entire encounter. Her post collected over 400 comments within hours. Half of Owen's extended family jumped to her defense without bothering to ask what actually happened. They're calling me overdramatic, insisting it was just a dress and family matters more than pride, claiming Tessa only wanted to feel included. Owen's Aunt Patricia dropped a comment saying, "Some brides are so insecure they can't stand anyone else looking nice." This is absolutely unhinged considering Tessa literally showed up in a wedding gown. Owen called his mother and I've never heard him raise his voice like that. He demanded she publicly shut this down immediately or he was cutting contact with everyone. His mom dissolved into tears. She kept saying she doesn't know what to do anymore. Tessa won't listen to reason. Then she dropped something that made Owen go silent. Apparently Tessa has been threatening self-harm if everyone keeps attacking her. This is Tessa's standard move whenever someone confronts her behavior. She's pulled this since high school. Owen's parents cave every time because they're terrified she'll actually do something. Owen's voice went very calm and cold. He told his mom Tessa needs professional psychiatric help and her threats are not his problem to manage. His mom hung up on him. I screenshot everything from Tessa's post. Jenna commented with multiple photos clearly displaying Tessa in the full bridal gown with the train spread across the ground. My sister commented linking the venue's guest conduct policy. 3 of Owen's cousins who actually attended left comments confirming they witnessed everything and Tessa was absolutely wrong. Tessa keeps doubling down in the replies though. Now she's claiming the dress wasn't even that white and everyone is gaslighting her about what happened. Owen's oldest friend Marcus reached out. Tessa had called him sobbing and begging him to convince Owen to forgive her. Marcus told her what she did was unforgivable and she needs to take actual accountability. She called him a traitor and blocked him instantly. Marcus has known Tessa since she was 8. If she's willing to torch a friendship that long over this, then she'll burn every connection she has. My sister contacted the venue and obtained the security footage. The body camera video clearly shows neither of us touched Tessa. It shows her refusing to leave. It shows her screaming at everyone. It shows exactly where the guard held her arm to guide her toward the exit. My sister sent the footage to Owen's parents with a message stating if Tessa doesn't publicly retract her false accusation within 24 hours, we're reporting her to the police for filing a false report and pursuing a restraining order. Owen's mom called back within an hour, panicking, begging us not to involve police. She swore she'd make Tessa take the post down. We told her we wanted a public retraction, not just deletion. Owen's mom spent the next 3 hours apparently fighting with Tessa. Finally, around midnight our time, Tessa posted an update saying she may have misremembered what happened and she was emotional and confused. It wasn't a real apology, but at least she admitted she lied. My sister archived everything in case we need it later. We tried salvaging what's left of our honeymoon after that. We took a boat to Santorini, watched the sunset from our balcony, had dinner at this restaurant carved into the cliffside. Owen kept saying sorry for his family. I kept telling him it's not his fault. I could see this was eating him alive though. He wanted his family to accept me. He wanted their support. Instead, half of them decided I'm some kind of villain based entirely on Tessa's lies. Our last night in Greece, Owen's dad called. His dad never calls anyone. His dad sends maybe one text per month and considers himself involved. He announced we need to come home and fix this situation. Tessa isn't eating. She won't leave her apartment. She's telling people Owen hates her. Owen's response was that Tessa made her choices and now faces the consequences. His dad fired back with, "She's your sister. You don't abandon family over a misunderstanding." Owen's voice stayed level. He pointed out Tessa didn't misunderstand anything. She wore a wedding dress to our wedding, then lied about assault on social media. Those were deliberate, calculated choices. His dad accused us of being unforgiving and hung up. Owen threw his phone across the room. I'd never seen him that angry. Update 4 weeks later. We've been back from Greece for 3 weeks. We haven't spoken to Tessa once. We've barely communicated with Owen's parents beyond a few tense text exchanges. Owen's mom keeps sending these guilt trip emails about destroying the family, about Tessa falling apart, about how we need to be bigger people. Owen ignores all of them. He's hurt in ways I've never witnessed before. He barely talks about his family anymore, and when he does his voice goes flat. Last week Owen's mom appeared at our apartment unannounced. Tessa was with her. Tessa looked rough, eyes swollen and red, hair unbrushed, like she hadn't slept in weeks. Owen's mom started crying before we even answered the door. She begged us to let them inside. Tessa needed to apologize and we had to hear her out. Owen refused through the closed door. His mom sobbed harder. She went on about how family doesn't abandon each other. Tessa hadn't said a word, just stared at the ground. I made a bad call. Watching Owen's mom break down like that got to me. I suggested maybe we should at least listen. Owen looked at me like I'd betrayed him, but he opened the door. We all ended up in the living room sitting in the most uncomfortable silence I've ever experienced. Nobody spoke for at least 2 minutes. Finally Tessa's voice came out small. She apologized. She claimed she didn't realize it would hurt me so badly. She just wanted to feel included. I asked her to explain how wearing a bridal gown would make her feel included rather than stealing all the attention. She had no answer. Tears started up again. Owen asked point blank if she understood that what she did was fundamentally wrong, not just hurtful but objectively inappropriate. She whispered, "I guess," in this tiny defeated voice. Not yes, not I understand why now, just I guess. Owen stood up and told her to get out. Owen's mom completely lost it. She started screaming at him. The words heartless and cruel got thrown around. She accused him of changing since meeting me, claimed I'd poisoned him against his own family. I got to my feet and cut her off. I spelled out that her daughter wore a wedding dress to my wedding, then falsely accused me of assault on social media. If she couldn't recognize how serious that was, then maybe Owen was right to create distance. She called me a manipulative witch plus several other things I'm not repeating. Then she grabbed Tessa and dragged her out. Owen fell apart after they left. He cried for over an hour. He kept saying he didn't understand how everything got so broken. He felt like he'd spent his entire life making excuses for Tessa without seeing how bad it was. I held him and stayed quiet because no words would fix this. 2 days later Owen's brother Kyle video called from Tokyo. Kyle couldn't attend the wedding because of work, but he'd heard everything through the family grapevine. He told Owen he was completely on our side. Tessa has been pulling stunts like this their whole lives, and everyone always made excuses because confronting her was harder than enabling her. Their parents can't hold her accountable because they don't want to admit they screwed up raising her. Kyle said Owen did the right thing. Kyle also mentioned something that explained a lot. Apparently some extended family members have been asking him if Tessa's fiancé couldn't make it to the wedding. Kyle had no idea what they were talking about. Turns out Tessa told people afterward that she wore a wedding dress because she recently got engaged and wanted to feel bridal. It's completely fabricated. She's not engaged. She's not even seeing anyone. She invented an entire fake relationship to justify her behavior after the fact. When people started questioning why they'd never heard about this fiancé, she got vague and changed the subject. Owen called his mom immediately. He confronted her about Tessa spreading lies about being engaged. She tried denying it, then admitted she might have let people assume Tessa was engaged because it made explaining the dress situation less embarrassing for everyone. Owen's voice went cold. He told her that lying to protect Tessa from consequences is exactly why Tessa acts like this. His mom accused him of being cruel and punishing her for trying to hold the family together. Owen clarified he wasn't punishing anyone, he just wasn't participating in the chaos anymore. She hung up. Owen's dad texted the next morning. All it said was, "Your mother is devastated and this is on you." Owen blocked the number immediately. Final update 2 months later. We started therapy, both as a couple and individually. Everything with the wedding brought up a lot we needed to process. I've been dealing with anxiety about family gatherings and guilt about whether I destroyed Owen's relationship with his parents. Owen's been working through anger and grief. Our therapist has been helping us set boundaries and understand that other people's choices aren't our responsibility. We haven't talked to Tessa since she showed up at our door. We've had almost zero contact with Owen's parents. His mom sends occasional texts alternating between guilt trips and passive-aggressive jabs about choosing pride over family. We don't respond. Owen's dad stopped trying after Owen blocked him. Kyle flew in from Tokyo last month and stayed with us for a week. Having his support meant everything. He shared more stories about growing up with Tessa. Apparently she once crashed Kyle's college graduation wearing a cap and gown despite dropping out 2 years earlier. She told everyone she was graduating with a communications degree. Their parents said nothing and let people congratulate her. Kyle stopped expecting accountability from his parents years ago. Owen's friends threw us a redo celebration last weekend. Marcus rented a small restaurant. About 20 close friends showed up. Everyone brought photos and videos from the wedding focusing on the good parts. We danced and laughed and actually celebrated. It felt like taking back what Tessa tried to steal. One of Owen's college friends put together this whole slideshow of pictures where you couldn't even tell anything went wrong. We're using those for our actual wedding album. A package arrived last week from Tessa. No note, no apology letter, just a gift. It was silver picture frames for wedding photos. Owen picked up the box and threw it straight in the trash without a word. Owen's mom called yesterday. Tessa started therapy apparently. Her therapist wants everyone to do a family session to talk about the wedding. Owen declined. His mom called that unforgiving. Owen pointed out forgiveness requires genuine accountability, which Tessa hasn't shown. His mom argued that attending therapy is accountability. Owen explained that going to therapy because you got called out isn't the same as actually changing or understanding why your behavior was wrong. He said he'd consider talking to Tessa if she demonstrates real sustained change over time, not just shows up to therapy appointments. His mom said that might never happen. Owen replied, "Then I guess we'll never talk." She hung up again. We're planning a trip to Tokyo next spring to visit Kyle. We're looking at houses to buy. Some extended family still won't speak to us. Others have quietly reached out saying they support us and apologize for believing Tessa initially. Owen's Aunt Patricia sent an email last month saying she didn't have complete information and hopes we can move past everything. We ignored it. This morning Owen got a text from his mom. All it said was, "Tessa dropped out of therapy after 2 sessions. Owen showed me the phone and we both just looked at each other for a second. Then he deleted the message and we went back to eating breakfast. We're putting an offer on a house tomorrow. It has this massive backyard and a kitchen with windows that let in perfect morning light. Kyle's already planning to visit once we move in. Marcus and Jenna want to host a housewarming party." Owen's been sleeping better lately. He laughs more. We're talking about getting a dog once we close on the house, maybe starting to try for kids next year. His parents sent a Christmas card last week. Owen put it straight in the recycling without opening it. We're building something good here, just the two of us and the people who actually show up for us. Tessa posted on Instagram yesterday about toxic people who abandon family. I didn't even finish reading it before I blocked her. We've got better things to focus on now.